The knowledge of God isn't your knowledge of him.
Right.
It's his knowledge of you.
Wow.
He
Wow.
knew you before he formed you in your mother's womb. His intimate knowledge of you introduces you to yourself again and elevates you to a position where his original intention is clearly perceived. And the reality is, for a whole lot of us as leaders, I'm getting there, Pastor Travis. I'm coming around the mountain a long way, but I'll be coming around.
Come
the
on,
mountain
man.
when I come.
Preach it.
But the reality is, a whole lot of us as leaders, we didn't even know our identity. We're doing what we're doing,
right,
to figure out who we are and come up with, I want to be somebody, and I want to, and I want to be useful for God, and I want to, and I, and maybe my title will give it to me, and maybe the number of people in seats, and maybe however big my building is, or, how many miracles I have, or,
right.
So here we are, working hard, as leaders, trying to, get some kind of identity. And the reality is, here Jesus is.
Wow.
Being baptized. And the Father says over him, "You're my son, you're my beloved son, and I'm pleased with you." And affirmation of heaven. Before Jesus had ever done any work, before he'd ever preached a message, before he'd ever led anybody, before he ever, fed the 5,000, before he ever raised the dead, the affirmation of the Father, this is my son. Do you know that's the same words he's speaking over us? You are my son.
Right.
And I delight in you, and I'm well pleased with you. Let me tell you something. As a leader, when you hear those words, that empowers you to live and lead. But I think a lot of us miss it because we're too busy trying to work on identity. We're trying to figure, to figure this thing out. Human doings. We've turned into human doings, and we don't know we're human beings. That we can
that's so
be.
good.
That's who we are. We can be. And isn't it crazy that after the Father spoke that over Jesus, immediately he's led into a place of temptation? Let me tell you something. You know what the temptation was? The temptation was,
right.
Hey, if you really are,
that's right,
who your Father says you are.
Identity. Yeah.
Identity. It's all about identity. So because we as leaders don't know who we are, we're spending our life on an identity quest, we're not enjoying this thing. We're not living. We're not truly leading. It's not coming from that place of, man, this is who I am. It's effortless. It flows. And so what happens? This is what you just said. Burnout, suicide, dropout, quitting, frustrated, done, marriage is over, children jacked.
Right.
I mean, church is struggling. I mean, let me tell you something. Now more than ever before, this message is vital.